Today I'm doing a ABS delete on our RC390. You can see there. Instead of doing one of those videos that you so often see, and I've actually done them myself, so I'm guilty for this too. But instead of a sort of the video whereby I film myself undoing every single nut and bolt, what I figured I'd do is I'll show you where I'm at right now before I get really stuck into the job and what I've had to take off so far, so that if you're doing this yourself, that'll get you started, and then we'll do a recap at the end to catch up and any other tricks I've learned. This is a 2017 RC390. It's not the R, it's the stock one, and we use it as a training bike, so it's not a race bike per se. We train on it mostly braking, corner entry, corner exit. So we take it to go-kart tracks and hammer it on the go-kart track. So what did I do? Well, you know, you take the little battery cover off, take the battery out. So you have to disconnect all the battery connections or what have you to give you some space there. The tank cover comes off. In order to get that, the seat cover has to come off too. And then there's a couple of bolts that hold the tank in there. And then your electric box here, there's two nuts that you can find sit down there, down those holes. And then there's a screw there, and then there's another screw there that holds a little panel on. And as you can see down here, these where those nuts are, they sit on these sort of captive bolts. And then once you undo those, you can move this around quite well. Now, I've also moved the tank back. The reason I did that was to give me enough room to get in here, because that's your little ABS unit there from the top. You can see I've already taken off the front lines. I just wanted to see if it was possible. It is. It's actually quite easy to get them off. So I've removed those, and I've actually roughed in the new Hel front brake line just to see what it's like. The other things that need to come off, obviously, side panels. As you can see, the little ABS unit sits in here. So it's behind the coil, so I pulled the coil off too. The coil's kind of dangling there. I just put the bolts back in so I didn't lose them. And then as we run down through here, you'll notice that on the back, to get to the rear lines, you got to take the rear hugger, combined hugger chain guard unit off, which this side is real easy. And you can also see here the lines running up through all the way up there to the little motor unit there. So that's this side of the bike. Now it gets a little more interesting the other side of the bike. Again, the other side, I took the other side panel off just so I could get various different angles on attacking the components that are in here. But when I came to get the, because this one still has this stock hugger chain guard unit, which I can assure is going to have some surgery before it goes back on. There is a little bolt that goes through there. It's an 8mm that sits right behind the stock footrests. There it is, and that stock footrest covers the bolt that goes through there such that you can't get it out. So I had to take it off. You got to pull the swing arm pivot nut off the end of there, and then there's a bolt that goes through the back hole and bolts into the piece of the frame. And then this unit here is actually the engine mount. Now this one's got an interesting slot cut in it. We didn't buy the bike new. I don't quite know what was going on there, but there we are. But that goes all the way through, and on the other side of it is a nut. So you have to kind of work right across the bike to get that out. But then once you've got the stock footrest off, you can then get to there, and there's another trick down here that you have to lift up the side of the chain guard to get to. Pull that one out. That's kind of a weird screw. It's like that. I have no idea why that is, but there we are. Also, I have the, as you can hear, see the sliders there. They go in there. See that? I had to pull those off too to get the whole kind of this unit off. So anyway, that's what else can we look at here? So I've roughed in the front brake line. It can go. You can put it in actually through the same mounts all the way down there. Hel included this kind of rubber unit here for running it through some kind of clip, but I think I'm gonna just keep it to the stock unit there, and it slides up underneath there, and then you can see it just locks nicely on the stock master cylinder there. So that's where we're at so far. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to get around and undo all the back parts so that, sorry, the back brake lines, which you can see them down. Can you see them? Yeah, there they are. They're going to be a little more tricky to get at, but we'll get at them. We'll get them out, and then I'll show you the finished article and anything else I learn on the way. So anyway, that's where we're up to so far. I'm going to get back to work. We'll see you soon. So really, getting the back brake lines off is all a right-hand side of the bike job. Again, you can move this module and you can get in on the brake motor unit there, the ABS motor thing. 14mm socket, the one on the, as we're looking at it, let's turn it around that way. Okay, the one at the bottom right, get a socket on that. The other one, I used a 14mm wrench, which I went in through here, easy enough. You know, the most difficult part of this is here. You see that bracket? Well, that bracket holds one of these little sort of cable support things. It holds the brake lines. There's a little 8mm bolt in there, and it is absolute SOP. So over there you notice the voltage reg. I've unbolted the voltage reg. There's quite a few little lines, wires attached to that, so I just bundle them all together there so we wouldn't lose anything on the washers. But that thing there, I used, I have a really small, really short 8mm. That was kind of like my best option. So that, and you're going to need some strong fingers. Good luck with that one, or maybe you can come up with a better way of getting that out. It's slow and hard. You just got to stay cool and get on with it. So here's the new Hel brake line. Now what I've done, I've got it roughed in that end. I know the washer's not in the right place or whatever. And this is just a rough in, but I'm gonna leave it sit here. There's the other end of it. Beautiful piece of work until I put the rear set on this side, so I know exactly where everything's gonna end up because I haven't figured that out yet. But that so far. This is a fairly long undertaking, given that right behind us here is our R6 that we used for training on. I've got some work to do on that. The RC here needs to be on track on Wednesday. It's Saturday sort of lunchtime right now, so I think I'm going to leave the stupid ABS servo motor thing, whatever it is, where it is, because I really don't fancy taking up another half a day trying to get that out. I'll do that over the winter when we got time to lay the bike up, because I need to get this off the lift, and then I need to get the R6 up here. I've got to do ignition delete. I've got to put a different rear shock absorber on it. I also have to figure out the, oh, there's my my little sound system there telling me that it's got bored. Where was I? Yeah, the R6, that's right. So I got a bunch of work to do on that. I got to make it quiet enough to work at Rocky Mountain Motorsports Park too. So I don't have a lot of time. That's going to stay where it is. Once I get the rear sets on, I'll just give you a quick rundown on that just in case. But that's the job so far. Kind of occurred to me while I was going through the footage last night, I got a little sidetracked and ended up also talking about putting the rear sets on, and that kind of distracted me a bit. This video was not about that. Whoops. So what I'm going to do, I'll go back to just looking at how the rear brake line fits up to the stock setup with the stock brackets and stock position for the rear master cylinder. See if I can figure that out, and then I'll share it with you. So I think I got this figured out. I put the hugger back on, but as you saw previously, the brake line runs along underneath there. So the way it seems to fit most comfortably is to go to the inside of the swing arm and then go, let's see if I can find this here, underneath. There, you can see it's there, and then come up that way. There's another shot of it. So this way, if you route it this way, it goes along there. It follows the tube that comes from the reservoir there. So that the reservoir tube goes down underneath through there, and then the brake line appears to go from there down through there, as you can see, and then underneath, and then up round there, and back along to there. So that's the way I think you'd have to do it if you were running the stock foot peg setup. So I think that's where we end up. Thanks for your patience on that one. As usual, I tend to do sort of instead of editing everything so it's kind of fancy and slick, I'd rather do it in real time in real life. So if that works for you, good. Works for me, that's for sure. I spend a lot of time working on bikes. So anyway, that's where it ends up. Well, thanks for watching. As they say, I've watched a few YouTube videos nowadays. Get the hang of the thanks for watching. If this is helpful and any of my other videos have been helpful, please like and subscribe. One of the reasons I'm doing this channel is to try and help and support my son, Phil, who is the racer in the family. I retired once he started. So we do have a Patreon account. If you would like to be a supporter of Phil, currently at 15 years old, he's racing in Supersport and Superbike, in Canadian Superbike at national level. Last weekend out, Grand Bend, we put it on the box for the first time. And he seems to be really settling in on the 600, so we'd appreciate your support. There's a link to our Patreon below. You can become a Patreon subscriber, or if you find him on Instagram, which is Phil the Beast Racing 23 on Instagram, there is a GoFundMe there. All contributions will be gratefully received, I can assure you. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I said y'all then. See, I'm getting a very confused accent these days. It's I travel too much, I guess. But anyway, have a great day. Hope that was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.